Hey everybody, how's it going? Today is not a play video, but rather a overlook at the new 9.1 update that just dropped earlier today. And I know a lot of you might not be able to read the news, so I'm just going to go over the big changes for you real quick. So first of all, we'll take a look at the schedule. As you can maybe notice, the wording changed a little bit. There is a little bit of a change in the UI. Instead of all of the options being there up front, now it'll be under this menu. The ordering is still the same. The special events, everything 6-star only and 5-star only. Now the new thing is the one on the right. This is the Kurikaeshi Yoyaku, and that is basically repeated notifications. And let's say there's a monster you really want to max luck, for example. You can basically set up a notification for 10. So I've done one already. I said, alright, I'm gonna go for Izanami, and let's see what else. Let's go with Yamatake too. So I really want it. So you hit that button on the left and just making sure it's gonna remind you that every time Yamatake comes up, you'll get a notification for it. Hit the left saying okay, and cool. Now Yamatake will be there'll be a notification every time he comes back up. And you can do a little bit more filtering here. Same thing, you can do everything. You can see which ones you've already done and then filter it by 6-star and 5-star. Pretty cool. Alright, next thing. This is a limited time event, but I figured since it's in the news, in that order, I would do the same. If you go to Quest and go to the temples, you'll see that there's a whole section up here. And until June 13th, Japan time, you will be able to run all temples any day you want. The catch is, instead of spending stamina, you're gonna spend gold. And it is 5 million, but if you've been playing for a while, you probably have a lot of money and you're probably swimming in money. So I'm sure this is a godsend to a lot of people to finally spend their money. And must be nice to spend money instead of stamina, especially for temples. And they work exactly like the time trials, so there should be no difference from that. So that is pretty cool. Next thing is more deck slots. Unfortunately, I can't really show you because I'm only ranked 96 in Japan, but the previous limit was 8 slots, and that's when you hit rank 200. Now the limit will go up until you hit rank 400, which means you'll have a total of 12 slots if you're above rank 400. So 200 you should hit 8, 250 is 9, 300 is 10, 350 is 11, and 400 will be 12. And now the cool thing is, you could normally you slide between your teams that way, but now there's this icon here where now you can see all your decks at once. And this, I'm sure this will be much more handy if you have 12 slots, but then you can say, you know what, I don't need this Doraemon deck right now, so then I can change it and select it at once. So that's pretty cool. That's a great quality of life update. Mission renewal, it's not in yet, but again, this was the order in the news. As you can see right now, it is based on the number of clears you have, but starting, it looks like June 12th, 4 a.m. Japan time, so I believe that's noon on the 11th for us Pacific folks. After that, it'll change to the number of stamina spent. So on the example they show on the news, it goes 450 stamina spent, 900 stamina spent, 1300 stamina spent, and I think this will benefit a lot of the heavier users, especially since you don't have to run specific events, which kind of was always a bummer, like, you know, the daily quest or something like that. So I think that's a welcome change to most. Oh, this next one I like a lot. They have updated the organization with a new one on the bottom right, and this will actually sort by the type, the amount of monsters you have. And what I mean is, if you take a look at the top left, you see all of the Fox medals together. And this is really nice because if you've ever you've pulled a monster, you don't know if you need to fuse the dupes, now it'll be there all together in this order of number that you have. So as you can see, I have 2 of the light Marys there. I have 2 of the fire Marys. And if you have multiple in different Evo forms, don't worry, they're also together. It looks like it'll be in the order of Transcended, Ascended, Evolved, and Base form. So the fact all of them are there will be, I think, very beneficial in cleaning up your box in a much easier form. I love this update a lot. Alright, next up, let's see. They added a bunch of new library quests and also titles. Unfortunately, the titles are based on the number of clears of the Tower of Champions, or the Jades on top of the Tower of Champions. And I have yet to get that far. If you saw the previous video, I got to the 30th floor, but no clear just yet. But aside from that, inside of the titles, they also updated the usage of monsters here. Now, as you can see, there's a new row of icons. Now you can see how much you've used of each element. So right now, of course, you can see here's the overall stats. You got Doraemon, Miyamoto Musashi, Kamui, Cinderella, Lorelei. But now you can see, okay, which fire monsters did I use the most? We got Cinderella, Spider-Man, Walpurgis already on the number 3 slot, and Ryoma, of course, flying up there. And then you can pick multiple. Alright, so how about the fire and the water? But you can see water. Alright, as you can see, the bottom is kind of, I haven't used very much of a variety of monsters. So Lorelei's on top, Noah's second. Let's see, wood. Oh, Kushinada's on top. That's not too surprising. Hunter King in the 2nd slot. Light. You can see Dory filling out there. And Nyoibo on the 6th slot. And the dark. Huh. I've only used 9 different dark monsters, which is interesting. But a lot of Harley and Alice used for sure. But I mean, this is pretty cool stats wise if you're into that. So definitely suggest you take a look if you haven't done so yet. Let's see what's next. Some small quality of life changes that, I mean, you may not notice, but I think it might be the small things might help. Actually, that's not the right stage. So let's say you wanted to compare these ableberries. Now, before it would always come back to this main screen, but now it actually remembers what screen you left, so it makes it much easier to compare. So I left on the ableberry screen. Now I can see, well, she doesn't have one there, but you can see Lorelei. It's like, oh, okay, I got the bump combo increaser. What do I got on Walpurgis? The increased HP. So it's the small things here, but I think it'll be pretty nice. And also, this is probably less noticeable, but if you look, no, we don't want to evolve. We want to, let's see, level up. This gauge right here, it actually says the before it would always say the amount of XP you need to go to the next level. Now it actually defaults how much it takes to go to the max level, which probably is what more people care about rather than what's coming up for the next level. So now if you're on like the Mega Fuse events, it'll be much more easier to compare the EXP you're going to get with the turtle right now versus how much you have to get total at the end. Before, you had to actually click this. You might not have known that, but it's the small things here. And I think that's about it for the update. I would suggest, if you're really interested, to check the news. Well, we can go over the new quests. It looks like Alaroon, Jabberwock, Medjed, Creamon, Doulahan, Scarab, Bubble Boy, Mosquito, Sphinx, Sweetica. I don't know what that is. Genome, Pharaoh, and Anko are all in the library now. And A few monsters have been added to be able to get Able Berries if you do the Max Luck Fuse. Genome, Doulahan, Mosquito, Medjed, Pharaoh, Bubble Boy, and Sweetika are all now added. And the last thing is it looks like there was a bug with Dinah, which is the second season after Hakwa. A bug with that was fixed if you happen to run into her. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully this helps with the news updates, and enjoy. Until next time, bye bye.